皆さんこんにちは。グローバルハンズオン VC の安永と申します。これからですね、4回のシリーズでシリコンバレーの連続起業家に聞きましょう。シリアルアントレプレナー、シリアルアントレプレナーですね。起業というのは何かというのを聞いてまいりたいと思います。シリコンバレーには連続起業家たくさんいるんですけれども、その中でも大成功を収めているシュリ・ドダニさん、我々グローバルハンズオン VC のファウンダーの一人になりますけれども、彼にシリコンバレーの起業ということに関して語ってもらいたいと思います。Thank you for coming to Tokyo. Here we like to have some series and let's hear from the serial entrepreneur from the Silicon Valley. So let me ask first questions. Could you maybe tell about your background and why you decided to get into this world of entrepreneurship?
Good morning, Ken. Thanks for having me in Tokyo. It's been fun. In terms of my background, it's very simple. Like all the entrepreneurs in the Silicon Valley, you have a technical background, engineering, undergrad, and then you do MBA. In my case, I've done computer science and MBA grad school as well. So that gets you going into technology to begin with. And technology was one sector that for immigrant like myself in the US was relatively easier to get started in entrepreneurship than any other industry. So it was a natural for me after having worked for large companies. Prior to working for large companies, I was in a startup working for two startups which went public. The founders make it, not just financially well, but, achieve a product that was successful in the marketplace. So that motivated me, but I didn't have the experience, nor did I have the money to go get started. So I went to work for big companies around the world and always wanted to start because I was exposed early on in my career to the startup and being successful. So I always wanted to do startup. So I needed to pick the areas of technology, and that got me back. After living all over the world, I came back to the US, and I've been doing startup ever since of my own.
I see. Could you tell me about what kind of success you have as the entrepreneurs?
As an entrepreneur, I've been fortunate enough to have done multiple companies, and one of them actually went public in NASDAQ, and the other 5 have been acquired. So a total of 6 companies, ranging from silicon companies to system company to software SaaS company to enterprise software in all areas, including alternate energy. So been blessed in learning new areas, and almost all of them had good return for our shareholder as well as the employees along with that. Companies like VXTEL, companies like Carrier Access, they're not your household names, but they were financially rewarding as well as product-wise rewarding for us and our customers.
When you say big, how big is this? Is it okay to share your numbers?
For example, I'll share one number. For example, VXTEL, we sold to Intel within 2 years after developing 2 chips and two chips and the software associated with it. Within 2 years, we were able to sell to Intel, were acquired by Intel rather than sell, by Intel for $450 million.
550?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which for the earliest investors who came in earlier, that was roughly about 20 times multiples.
Wow. Okay. Other ones? Yeah.
Another one, Carrier Access, where I was officer of the company. I wasn't the CEO. That one at the peak valuation of public offering was about $1.5 billion. So these are some examples. There are other companies we exited as well.
I mean, you said it is natural to become entrepreneurs. I mean, it should be very hard. It's really long-term journey. They have some risks associated with it. How do you thought about that?
Absolutely, the risk associated with being an entrepreneur. But the downside risk for me was just giving up the salary. But the upside risk was tremendous. And one of the good things about Silicon Valley now being proliferated, the same philosophy around the world, is that even if you fail, you can restart again, which wasn't the case for the rest of the world. But in Silicon Valley, it was very common that even if you fail, somebody else would kind of rely on you to go create a new company as long as your ideas were good. Right? So in that sense, there was not much risk. The question is what you wanted to do.
What you want to do in your life.
It was important for me to, having watched earlier in my career, right after college, to have entrepreneurs succeed and take company public, it left a good taste in me that I wanted to do that myself, sort of thing. And that kept me back into this, regardless of the risk involved.
Great. 皆さん2つのポイントがあると思うんですけれども、彼いろんなトラックレコードがある中で、いわゆる人生の中で何をやるかというのが一番の重要なファクター、起業という選択肢をするというのに重要なファクターであるというのがありました。あともう一つ、いわゆるシリコンバレーの特徴なんですけれども、失敗、いわゆるダウンサイドとアップサイド、失敗してももう一回チャレンジできるっていうのがシリコンバレーのカルチャーの中にある。これって、全然日本ではできないことではないと思うんですよね。野村監督の言葉で失敗と書いて、成長と読むっていうふうな言葉があるんですけれども、失敗を許容する社会っていうのは、これからも日本に出てくると思います。そのためにベンチャーキャピタルがあると思うんですけれども、そういった形で彼のような連続起業家を増やしていくっていうのがグローバルハンズオンのミッションであり、日本のベンチャーエコシステムに課せられたミッションだとも思っています。